I did a video earlier today talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene and her effort to oust Speaker Mike Johnson. And she came out earlier today after having a meeting with Mike Johnson and getting a bunch of concessions. And she said she wasn't going to vote to oust him or wasn't going to try. Well, what happened today? Well, she went back on her word. Go figure. And she tried to move forward this motion to vacate the chair and get a new Speaker of the House. Now, why did she do that? Well, because she's mad at Mike Johnson for working with the Democrats to fund the government, keep the government open, and for getting Ukraine funding done, and Israel funding done, and funding for our Asian allies like Taiwan. And we got all this stuff done with very little concessions, and it passed pretty much the way Democrats wanted it to. And I think that was in part because the Democrats said to Mike Johnson, hey, look, you get this funding passed because we got to do something, and you know something's going to pass eventually. Should they try to vacate your chair, we'll vote to save you. Well, she came out of this meeting and said she wasn't going to do it. Then she must have thought about it, came back today and tried. She brought forward this motion to vacate the chair, and they immediately moved to table this resolution, which means put it off to a later date. And on this motion to table it, before they took the vote on her motion, this was just on the motion to table it and say we'll deal with it later. Only 43 people voted in favor of moving this motion to vacate to the floor. Everybody else said, nope, we'll deal with it later, and they tabled it. So 42 people plus Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to vote to oust the Speaker. Everybody else said we'll deal with it at a later point, not right now. So she completely and utterly failed on this effort. I don't know if she's going to try again. And I also don't know what Democrats are going to do next time, because I'm guessing they saved him now because they got what they wanted. And I'm guessing if they start talking about doing it again, they'll probably go back to him and say, hey, look, we saved you last time. We'll save you this time. Work with us a little bit, and you got your job. Now, there's also another question is, why did they save Mike Johnson when they wouldn't save Kevin McCarthy? Well, the problem with Kevin McCarthy is he was a spineless person, and he had a deal in place for the budget with Joe Biden and then reneged on it. He had another deal with Joe Biden on something else. I can't remember exactly what. Reneged on that deal too and backed out. So he wasn't negotiating in good faith. Now, in this case, they worked with Mike Johnson. They got the Ukraine funding done. He negotiated in good faith. So they're more likely to work with him. That's how politics work, and that's how compromises work. You work together with somebody in good faith. You pull through on your end, they will pull through on theirs, typically. So her motion to try to vacate was a complete and utter failure. And once again, Marjorie Taylor Greene just looks foolish.